Coach, you picked up your third straight win and moved to 5-2 on the season, beating Northmont 49-18 last game with 392 yards of total offense. That means you really moved the ball. Can you talk about your offense last week?
I think we just tried to capitalize on some of the things that our coaches saw on film. I think that's kind of misleading. We had 2 punt returns that were returned for touchdowns and things like that. So anytime you can get contributions from other phases of the game as well as offense, I think that's what helps our team. I think just allowing some of our playmakers to make plays is what helps.
3 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes of the second quarter really put the game out of reach. Tell us about that sequence right before halftime.
Yeah, I think that's what I was alluding to. Some of those we had 2 punt returns that were returned for touchdowns. And then our offense kind of got a rhythm because that kind of helped things. Our team plays with a lot of emotion on the score like that, so that helped us out a lot. And our defense has been playing well. Offense put in a couple bad situations there.
You forced 9 turnovers this season with 3 last week. What are the factors in forcing so many turnovers?
I just think that's something that our defensive coaches work on. And just trying to get better and just pursuing to the ball. And when you do those things, knowing your assignments and things happen. So they emphasize that all year. Our guys are believing in it.
You're joining quite a bit of experience from last year's team. How helpful has that been on your freshman quarterback, Lewis?
I think it's helpful when it starts up front. We have the leaders that we have up front, from our tight end to our offensive linemen. So those things can help alleviate some of that pressure off of the young quarterback. And our offensive staff does a great job just trying to put all of them in position to be successful.
Jordan Ward is second in the GWalk in rushing. Can you tell us a little about him and also a little about your other backs, Tyler Dorsey and Brian Kinley? They have 16 rushing touchdowns between them.
Yeah, all 3 of them bring something a little different. Jordan is a great downhill runner that's very big and physical and actually very agile. Tyler Dorsey is the same thing, agile type of person that, can make defenders miss and do some things well in the pass game. And Brian Kinley is just an explosive, athletic player that you can line up in different positions and have touch with the football. So all three of them bring different things, different aspects to the game, and I'm glad they're on our team.
Who should our listeners know from your excellent campus?
From our we have Bill Wagner, we have Johnson Leah, we have Evan Tanks on offensive line and defensive line, we have Javon Hamilton, Jimmy Dunford, and then our coaches have a rotate. So all of those guys are just trying to make most of the opportunities. We're just trying to go on and on each and every week. Just embracing the situation. We're playing a very disciplined Fairmont team. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes, so we just have to capitalize on our opportunities.
Okay, let's turn to Fairmont for a minute. Drew Baker, how do you slow down their rushing attack?
I think at the end of the day, it's just about our guys. I'm not trying to do anybody else's job, but doing your assignment, finding the supposed to do, just being very disciplined in what we're trying to do. So, like I said, our coaches do a great job with that. They'll emphasize it all week. We'll go out there on Friday and try to do the best we can.
All right, finally, Coach, Fairmont has one of the tougher defenses, both in yards allowed and points covered. What makes them so effective?
Overall, it is a disciplined team. They're not working to cause them to beat themselves. You have to capitalize on your opportunities and hopefully make a few plays here and there. They do a great job of just their scheme and what they're trying to do. So we'll just continue to watch film, and like I said, each and every week we're just trying to get better.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm with Coach Dave Miller, head coach of the Fairmont Firebirds. And Coach, we're approaching a tough opponent again this week, the Wayne Warriors. But first of all, congratulations on defeating Miamisburg last week, 24-6 at their place. The game couldn't have gotten off to a better start for your team, jumping out 14-0 in the first 5 minutes. Did you have a good week of practice leading in?
We did. The last couple weeks have been pretty good, actually. So, and kind of a contrast to where we were 2 weeks ago, where we were kind of inconsistent. We've done a much better job with that, so that definitely helped. But yeah, you mentioned the quick start. That was critical to get up on them the way we did, because that was going to be they're good. I don't think the score is an indicator of really how good of a football team they are and what they've become. And everybody recognizes it, how improved they are. So we consider that a really good win.
All right, the defense had a great game, highlighted by forcing 3 turnovers. The first 2 interceptions went for a touchdown, and the second was returned to the 2-yard line, and then punched in from there. They really set the tone for the rest of the game. Can you talk about how good your defense was last week?
Well, they continue to get better. I think other than one drive at the end there, again, against a good offense that does a lot of things to you that cause you problems, we couldn't really ask for a better start. And most of the game, they gave up a touchdown with a couple minutes to go in the game. We're up 24-0 at that point. They go for 2 to try to make it a 2-score game. But we had control, which was really critical from the way we started and the way they played throughout the game.
It felt like we mentioned Will Paris' name all night for getting into the backfield and disrupting the offense. Statistically, it was his best game of the season. Can you tell us a little about him?
Yeah, Will's done a great job. First of all, just one of our off-season, warriors. The kid is a high-intensity, effort type guy, and that's been in there. It's like he was due for that, but he plays with a motor, and again was one of our hardest workers in the off season. Just put in a lot of time and effort. So it's really great to see that from him, a senior, and getting it toward the end of the season here like he did. That's good to see. So.
The long run by Hillen on the first play after halftime took the wind out of any comeback for Miamisburg. Was that play a result of something seen on film, or were you setting that play up throughout the first half?
Well, it was there. He kind of began the half for sure.
Let's talk about this week's opponent, the Wayne Warriors. They have won 3 straight and are especially tough on defense. How do you feel their offense matches up? How do you feel your offense matches up against their defense?
Well, they're really fast on defense, and they're playing very fast this year. You can see they graduate a lot of guys, but you can tell they're very well coached, and they fly to the football. So there's some talent over there. They're good tacklers. We've got to improve on offense. I mean, that's something we've struggled here the last 3 weeks, and we have to find some answers. And our kids are working hard and trying to improve on that stuff. And we as coaches have to put them in the right situation. But that's going to be tough, moving against them, because they've shut down some pretty good offenses. So we've got our work cut out for us there, and we have to continue to improve.
They returned with a ton of experience on both sides of the ball, but have a freshman quarterback, Tyrell Lewis. How do you make it difficult for him?
Well, they rotate him with another guy who's really talented. So both those guys are good quarterbacks, and really the strength of their team is their offensive line and their running backs. They're loaded. I mean, they have talent all over the place, and the 3 of their linemen are getting recruited by Big Ten schools, and it's just a formidable task. They're I think the #1 offense in the conference for good reason. They score a lot of points. They're very explosive. So it's going to be a major challenge for us slowing them down.
Their special teams unit has produced 3 punt return touchdowns this season and several long kick returns. Obviously, a touchback is the best case scenario, but what's the key to preventing large returns on kicking games?
Well, you said it. We got to keep it out of their hands as much as we can. I mean, they have 2 or 3 really explosive guys back there, and they're you hold your breath every time they touch the ball. So we have to do a good job on special teams, making sure that, one, we try to keep it away from them. If we can get touchbacks, that would be great. But we have to cover if we don't. And that, with the punting situation, we have to be smart about it. We can't just punt it to them and give them opportunities like that. So that again, and on offense, if we can control the clock and move the ball and not have to punt as much, that would be really ideal. So staying out of those situations, because they're really scary when they get the ball.
Finally, Jordan Ward has twice as many carries as the next closest running back for the Warriors, yet he averages 6.3 yards per carry. What makes him so tough to bring down?
They have 3 of them, including him. And again, they're really good up front. When you look at their offensive line, they're huge and they're good. And so, that's a challenge for your defensive line to try to contend with that. When you watch what they're doing to guys, there's bodies all over the place, and that's easier to run the football when you have that going on. So not taking it away from the running backs, because they're really good too, but they complement each other very well. So in their passing games, improving, so they're really scary on offense. It's going to keep our defensive staff up nights here, I think, just trying to figure out how we can contain them. So.
All right, Coach. Well, again, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, and good luck on Friday.
Thanks, Norm. Appreciate it.